Today is March 8th. We've got a bunch of spring training games. We got some voicemails. We got some guys that are hitting the ball a lot. And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about because it's baseball season. We're going to have a hell of a show. We're going to have a hell of a show today. Let's talk Yanks.
With old JOMBOY and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Your Yankees news with these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old JOMBOy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old JOMBOy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by Draftkings. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. In the corner, we have producer Bug Dude. We're talking some Yankees baseball today. Spring training. We're getting deeper into spring training. Pitchers are throwing 3 innings. Batters are getting 3 at-bats a game. We're getting closer and closer and closer. I'm starting to feel really good about it. Also, happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Brett. Jake.
Happy birthday, Bert, Jim, Davis. Hope everyone's doing well on this fine second Monday of March, as they always say.
Did you say this fine second Monday of March?
Fine second Monday of March.
I thought you were going with 5 at first.
No. Doing all right. I mean, you're right. Spring training's still in full tilt. We're close. I'm getting close to this part of spring training where I want it to end. As we start to see guys cycle through the second time, it's almost like, okay, well, let's do real baseball now.
1 more week and I'll be there.
Yeah, so it was a surprise seeing the game on yesterday because now I almost expect Yankee spring games to not be on. So to have it on the tube was a nice little Sunday delight, which I had a couple of. And, yeah, man. No, there's storylines. There's real storylines. We were going through this beforehand, and we're like, okay, are we going to have to make up a topic? Are we going to have to find some conversations? But there's enough real stuff that it's like, okay, what's going on with bleep
and bop? Yeah, we do. I mean, Jay Bruce is hitting the hell out of the ball. And he also had a quote like, what was this quote they said on the broadcast yesterday? Like, yeah, I'm definitely good enough to make the team. Like it was something like that. Like, I'm definitely. They were like, do you think you're making? He was like, well, I am a professional. Like he was like, I should make the team. It was very confident and like cocksure, but
Jay Bruce Wayne. People are saying.
Also in a very, you just nodded and you're like, yeah. You are a pro.
You knew the answer when you asked me.
Yeah.
You knew the answer.
It was good. The new coaches had interviews and Jake texted each other about it. Did you watch the game, BBD, on Sunday?
I did watch yesterday because Sterling was on.
Ooh,
so I made sure I watched kind of all of it.
Did he have any good quotes?
There are a couple of good ones you can scroll through. Said take last year, dump it in the old garbage can, which got me pretty good.
Yeah. Every year.
Bruce's quote was, I know I'm good enough to be on the roster. There's no question personally about that, in my opinion.
Yeah. That was
spot the lie.
Yeah, and spot the lie. It's like you hear him say that and you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. And he's been doing really well. So there's some fun stuff to talk about. What I was saying is I texted Jake, and I love our dude Matt Blake. And Tanner. Is it Carlson or Smith or I always say Swanson.
Tanner Carlson.
Who's that?
Nobody.
I can't lock down his name. God damn it. Yeah, I hope those guys help everyone perform, but they were boring interviews.
Yeah, the Yankees love boring. We had a good raffle session in the office one day. Haven't said raffle session in a while. We had a good raffle session in the office one day. Joe's was here. I think Keith was hanging out, and we were just talking about the Yankees. When they signed Kluber,
Yeah.
and I think they brought in somebody else, and it was just like, the Yanks like plain Jane.
I mean, if you like Kluber, Matt Blake, Tyone.
Tyone's got some spunk.
I didn't mean Tyone. I meant to say Gumby.
Okay, yeah. I like Gumby's pressers, but
I like him too.
They're anti-electric.
I was excited to hear Matt Blake talk, and then I texted you halfway through, and I was like, what is he saying even?
No.
This is boring. Usually you can pick up some insights, and I was like, wow. Anyway, so we're just shots fired at those guys.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be good at press conferences on a mic. That's not their job.
It's true.
Matt Black. Although I do think Tanner does a podcast, which is how he got hired. Allegedly, Cashman listened to the podcast, was like, I like this guy. I like what he's about. You know what else? I probably can't say that. I was going to say, you know what else Tanner likes? And then I was going to do the CBD ad.
He likes relaxing.
Oh, he for sure loves relaxing.
Probably doesn't. He's probably like a hardo coach.
Yeah, catcher
Probably
coach.
likes coaching.
Yeah. Well, anyway, some people like CBD. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
We got CBD from Cushy Dreams here. Look at this. Some fresh nugs.
Kush.
It's smokable CBD, which is new. You know, all the weed went from you smoke it to now you vape. You can vape weed. You can take gummies and all that. Well, this isn't weed. It's for people that have stopped doing the weed, but still want to be able to relax, sit back, enjoy, you know, calm some of their anxiety and stress and get that smoking feeling. So they got pre-rolls. They got nuggets. You can roll it yourself. It smells like marijuana. It has the flavor, but it's not going to get you high. It's completely legal everywhere. And you can get some yourself if you go to cushydreams.com, Kushy dreams.com. Use promo code YANKS for 20% off your next order. Smoke your CBD with promo code YANKS for 20% off today. They have a new hemp flower, Jake. Comes in 1/8 cans, pre-rolled joints, cannabis that ships discreetly to you. You wake up, it's under your pillow. You have no idea how it got there.
It's weird. I'm involved. I can't say how, but I'm involved.
You are involved, yep. They got the indica and the sativa. We like it. They like us. We've had a lot of people say, like, thanks for putting me onto these guys.
Yeah,
which
man.
is cool.
It's been real cool. The response to the Cushy Dreams has been good.
Relaxing.
For everyone.
Relaxing beer. Who do you want to start? You want to start pitchers? Well, we have two topics on the things to discuss list here.
Right.
The first one is Greg Allen cleared waivers. I think we kind of talked about that somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was just in the office.
They're good.
Might have mentioned it in passing
Could've
on
been
either
last
end
set.
of the Hoke conversation. But
Oak convo, yeah. Over it.
Yeah, we did do that with Hoke. You're right. The other one is Alan Abreu got an option back. And we talked about that with Hoke as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when we talked about it with Hoaxster, the jokester. He said he was referencing it like Albert Abreu was kind of getting screwed because in theory, if Albert Abreu got released from the Yankees because he was out of option, well, A, he could make the Yankees, or B, he would have to be released and then he could have a chance with 29 other teams. And if you know the Yankees bullpen, there's a lot of other weaker bullpens out there, so he probably gets a chance to play MLB baseball. We were sitting here kind of like, well, this is good for Albert. He can figure it out. If we need to call him up, he can. And hey, we could be right. Like if Albert Abreu, when it's time for him to get the call, comes up and he looks good for the Yankees, his value just skyrocketed.
It has sucked to waste an option and not even pitch. Like there was the one year they brought him up, they didn't even pitch him. So at least you get some vengeance for that. Like that was mean.
And he's been turning heads a little bit. I mean, he's been hitting 100 on the gun. He's a little wild stallion. So, you know, hey, if he can figure out how to harness that, he's got one option left to do it. But yeah, that we've kind of been raising our brows, not our eye. Raising our eyebrows, not our eyes, at Albert Abreu making the Yankees bullpen because it just didn't make sense.
No, it didn't add up.
We thought there might be a trade, and now he's out.
Done.
He's out. And there's man, I know you also labeled things as hitting and pitching for this episode.
Yes.
There's been some veteran pitchers turning heads. If you're just on the podcast app, I turned my head.
If you're just listening, not watching, Jake did turn his head.
Head turn.
I don't know who you're referring to there, to be honest. So do you want to go to the pitching and tell me who you're talking about?
Well, there's pitching or there's hitting.
Okay. The hitting's fun. Let's do the hitting right away. The hitting is just all good news.
Yeah.
Stanton made his debut the other day. In the last game yesterday, he had 2 absolute rockets. I was building a treadmill with my wife, Caitlin, and we had the game on the laptop. and I audibly gasped at that one he hit to third base.
Yeah.
Like, I was scared for the third baseman. I don't know who was playing over there. Was it Lil Baby Toe? Might have been. But it was a hot shot. Like, whoa. I think I went like, holy shit. Like, that was my reaction. Katie was like, what? I was like, that was hard.
Yeah.
It was a hard shot down third baseline. And then he hit another one, and Roman Quinn, I mean, like came in on it because it was a line drive, but it just stayed up forever and went over his head to center field. So you want to see that. So you saw it, and that's great. Gary Sanchez has 2 home runs, and then he got a single to right field, which, again, that's what we want to see. I mean, you got the home runs out of the way. If he doesn't hit a home run the rest of spring, I don't care anymore. I'd like to see him going to right field. That's what I like. And it was the shift, Jake, which last year we were screaming, like, Gary, you can hit the ball to where the second baseman usually plays. You can do that. They shouldn't be shifting on you. So do it. And he did it. There was a little punch just right over where the second baseman kind of would have been.
Yeah, I think we discussed it in Gary's PPP, which if you guys have been listening to the player profile and projections, thank you. Yeah, man, Gary hit 147 last year. And when the whole right side of the infield opens up, wouldn't it hurt to poke one through there a couple times? So we saw that. The power swings look good. Judge came out with the big quotes. Swanson was saying good things. Stanton, I think, is a little more interesting. We've seen Stanton's approach the last few springs. We've talked about it on here. Just see the ball travel, literally do late defensive swings. He wasn't doing that.
No.
So I don't know if this is healthy, pissed off Stanton, trying to show everybody, like, I'm good. Or if he just got a couple good swings off that day. You never kind of know at spring training. But it's a lot better than bad news.
I liked what Rucco and Cone said about Gary as well. And I'll finish this thought. I liked what they said where they were like, he was so terrible last year. He got benched in the postseason. Obviously, spring training doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. But for his mentality and his headspace, obviously it's better that he's starting off doing well. He's thrown out a couple runners. He hasn't been an issue blocking balls. And he's got 2 home runs. He's 3 for 9. And now he's got a little single to right. And he just kind of looks at ease everywhere he's going right now. So, it means nothing in the scorebook, or it won't affect how we judge Gary Sanchez, the Yankee, at all. No one's going to be like, but he started spring off well. No one's going to say that. But for his head, it's a great way to start. Because, I think Judge doesn't need to have a good spring to be in a good headspace. I think he's fine being like, I still feel great, and I'm going to take it into the season. I think there's some players that the confidence needed to come back with the decent spring. Gary definitely needed something. And we had some commenters, and I think Kyle quote tweeted one that was like, he does this every spring. Because people say that about good springs no matter what.
Yeah.
Gary had an awful spring last year, which led to an awful season.
Yeah, and that's kind of the spring training trick. If Judge has a terrible spring and then the first opening series he hits 2 home runs and he gets on base half the time, it's over. If someone has a bad start to the season and you look back at their spring and it's been bad, and it's like, well, he's kind of been bad. So it's an unfair game. I know Kyle, you just referenced, was asking about our thoughts on the Judge quotes and what they were saying about Gary. I do think a lot of it is lip service. I mean, you're not going to say bad things. He did, he went kind of the extra mile saying Gary's got MVP potential in him. We
He's gotten votes for MVP before.
As baseball broadcasters, or whatever the hell we are, I think we'd be scared to say something like that for this upcoming season, but it's taste season. Let Gary get as much taste as he can, and hey, linking it back to what you're saying about the 3 for 9, couple homers going the opposite way, throwing runners out. I think if Gary had been 0 for 11 this spring, and he had a couple errors behind the dish, and Judge stepped up and said he's could have an MVP type year coming up, I think everyone would be like, no, it looks like he still sucks, bro.
I mean, obviously Gary has the potential and he's really good, but the reason they come out so hard is because there's opposition that comes out just as hard the other way.
Yeah.
And I think they see Gary as a human and their teammate, and they're like, this sucks. Everyone's so mean to this guy. And then
he's a stud.
They
actually see him hit those 450-foot home runs, and they say, wow,
So I don't put much stock into those guys saying those things, but I think it's just
It's nice.
I think they're just trying to turn the mirror around on the fan base.
Get tasty.
Yeah.
Taste yourself, baby.
Glaber's 4 for 11.
Sure.
He's hitting the ball. Clint hit a big home run out in Pittsburgh. Lightning quick hands, like you see. Our dude Aaron Hicks, he's 1 for 7 with 3 walks. So he's got a 400 on base percentage. He DM'd us on Instagram and said, guys, I'm trying to swing.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet, Hicks.
I bet.
You're right.
Yeah, I think that one hit was a single he pulled through the shift. Hicksy, he's looked like Hicksy. Glaber, man. Yeah, I mean, he had that one nice double he pulled. I think if we're doing offense and pitching the way that we've mentally separated it, Glaber's looked pretty solid at short. Again, you can only put so much stock into it, but he looks slightly more athletic. He's been handling the plays, so keep doing that, Glaber. Because, again, when April 1st gets here, if you boot that first one, nobody will give a shit. But that's overall good to see. Who else? DJ always hits.
I'm burying the lead here.
Burying the lead.
It's Jay Bruce. We talked about him at the beginning. Jay Bruce has come out and put it on display. I mean, in 8 at-bats, he's got 4 hits and a home run and a double. Yeah. 8 at-bats, 4 hits, home run, and a double. Very early, but then with the quote, like, yeah, I think I should be on the team. And the fact that, like, hey, I have a question. The fact that the Yankees announced Bruce before spring camp, they're like, yeah, we picked up Bruce. He has got minor league invite. Ooh. And then they didn't announce Dietrich. And he just, like, no one ever told the press. The Yankees never said, like, yeah, we tweeted or, like, does that mean anything?
No, I think that was the Yankees testing Dietrich. That was their first test of Dietrich as a Yankee. If you can keep this under wrap till spring, you pass the first test.
Don't be too big of a personality.
Yeah. The Bruce contract was going to get out there. So
I actually love that take by you.
That was Dietrich's test.
Yeah, and we like know that some teams have asked some other players like, hey, keep things quiet. And Dietrich's the guy.
It's the first test. You got the chains, you got the hair, you got the biceps. We like, you know what we like? Kluber. We want to fall asleep when you talk to us. And you're not that. So this is your first test.
The Yankees are saying that, not you and I.
Yes.
Yeah. Dietrich's 1 for 5, I think.
Yeah, the Jay Bruce thing for me, Jim, you mentioned this quote. I mentioned a couple episodes. He had a good presser. He was saying, you come to the Yankees. He gave the championship thing and all that. But it was very veteran. It wasn't kind of guy trying to make the team, like, just living it out. Like, Jay Bruce very much thinks he's a part of this Yankees, and I think the more important thing I would tie to that is the Yankees are very professional. Everywhere we talk to, whether it's Zach Britton and the kids' daycare stuff, we talked to Britt Giroli for The Athletic, and she brought up how the Yankees and all the players that end up going there talk about raving about it. The Yanks aren't going to dick around players. Like, I think Brian Cashman and Jay Bruce already know, like, hey, if you come in and you look like Jay Bruce, the guy who's been a professional hitter for a decade, you're going to be a part of this team. He's acting like it, and man, I just tie it back to a lot of people are getting hot on are they going to send Tyler Wade down? And, Gio can play shortstop if he needs to. The Yanks like using so many rest days that Jay Bruce would be playing. And that's even before injuries kick in, which they would. So I'm kind of on the Jay Bruce train. I wasn't at first. I think the money landed in a lot better place than I expected. I think he would get the ABs, a guy where the porch is there, babe. I mean, Jay Bruce with 300-plus career home runs. And, hey, how about that catch he made in left field? Like, I think Jay Bruce still thinks if he needs to go out and play a couple games in the outfield, he can do that too. So he feels, from everything I've seen veteran-wise, he seems like a part of this team.
I agree. I had him making it from the start. Dietrich puts a little bit of a wrinkle in there, but if Bruce stays hot, they did give him like the money, which guarantees him the money, which I think shows that they have a little more lean that way. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Pretty interested. We want to hear some guys that are struggling.
Or how about this? More importantly, if Jay Bruce keeps having just a nice spring and the Yankees just decline him and he's gone, a lot of Yankee fans are going to be pretty hot about that, depending how injuries and everything else
Depending on
plays out.
the rest of the way it plays out, yeah. The guys that aren't doing so hot through 11 or 12 at-bats, Andujar, he's 2 for 12 without a walk. Did steal third the other day, though. Caught him sleeping.
Quick Miggy, man.
Luke Voit, he's 1 for 11 with 2 RBIs and 1 walk. Aaron Judge, he's 2 for 11. Sorry, Voigt's 1 for 11. Judge is 2 for 11. Don't care about any of those, obviously.
Don't care.
Don't care, yeah. That's how spring training works.
Yeah.
When it's good, it's nice.
Sure.
When it's bad, you don't care. Except I do think, for Gary's sake, if it was bad, it'd be bad. I do think there are some people where if it was bad, it wouldn't be don't care. But Judge and Voit aren't those
There's
people.
shades of gray area. If it was the reverse for Andujar and he was just ripping doubles all over the place, we'd be saying, okay.
Yeah.
Andujar's trying to get in some conversations, but as of right now, it's just moot.
Moot point.
Yeah, there's the Andujar fan club that would run with that.
You in the Andujar fan club, BBD?
I like Andujar a lot.
I like him.
I think he benefits a little. I think both his hits were on the Yes games. So
Okay. So big lights Andujar. The Yes spring training game.
if I'm remembering even more right, I think both were right side of the infield ground balls through the hole, which I don't know what to make of that.
Tap
Which
'em.
you make
Yeah, one
nothing
was
of
a
it.
high fastball the other way. It's the only one I remember.
Give me the reason I very much enjoy Speedster Andujar is him trying to do everything he can.
Yeah.
Just trying to show it, man.
After Talkman's home run, his bat's colder. And none of this matters. It's 10
Ducky.
at-bats.
Yeah.
We'll see. Pitching, though. Pitching's very interesting. Gumby had a second outing, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs. He looked pretty sharp. Andy Pettit told him to throw more fastballs. He said, your fastball's better than mine. Throw it more.
Throw it. Put it in the zone.
That's called pitching, coaching. Coaching, pitching. You feeling any different about Gumby?
No, I mean, he sneakily hasn't had the innings in past years. Just need Gumby to go out there and twirl it and be consistent and chew up his chunk of the innings pie this year. He's got to earn it a little more for me. You referenced the 2017 season, and when we talk about Andujar and guys like that, that's even more recent. So I got to see it from Gumby.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad in a full season since then. That's where it's a little different, or been bad.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
He was decent last year. It's such a weird year. We did this.
I know.
We did this,
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm excited for Gumby. I think his stuff looked crisp this spring so
the
far.
curveball looked great.
And if when it's on, I think he's really good pitcher. So his interviews have been good. I mean, we'll see, but I'm excited for Gumby. It's not the same feeling I had with Hap or the same feeling I had with. It's more like with Hap, it was baseline, he'll be a good pitcher for us. He'll never be a playoff starter. I think Monty can become a 3 in the playoffs. He did it last year and had a good outing.
Yeah, he had a nice playoff start.
Yeah. Where it's not his best is boring. That's where I kind of changed. I think
his good days, it's fun.
His best can be exciting.
His good days, it's fun.
Tyone, listen to this, Jake. Tyone pitched 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. That'd be 4 shots of JMO in 2 innings for us when we do a shot of whiskey for every strikeout.
Yeah.
That kind of scared me when I was like, oh, shit. We might be getting drunk on Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is.
Man, all of the people we've talked to in the walls of baseball have been saying, that's the one. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going to happen with Kluber. We're not sure about some of the other Yankee moves. Tyone's a dude. He's extremely talented. They got him for cheap. His contract's still cheap. That's going to be the one we're circling at the end of the year. And yeah, man, I mean that little slider curve thing, when that thing's right, that thing looks pretty gross. And yeah, man, the JMO shots game, it's going to be an interesting one.
He also said that he was excited to get in the jam because then he had to like work. He hasn't been able to work on that. He hasn't pitched in live games. Like he was like mixing up my delivery speed and how often I look the runner at first back and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I haven't done that. You don't practice that when you're doing your bullpen sessions. So he was like, it was cool to be in a jam and then get out of it.
Yeah, it was funny because they tried to follow up on that with Monty. Because it made a lot of sense with Tyone. He hasn't pitched in a long time, and they were like, "So Monty, you got into some trouble today. Do you like that?" And Monty was just kind of like, "I mean, not really. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, no,
Rather not
No,
have the base
I'm
runners.
kind of good on that."
Herman, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 4 Ks as well. His changeup looked really good. He looked nasty. Weird feelings because noted bad guy, and it's very complicated, but the pitching, it is a business. The pitching looked good. He looked sharp.
Yeah, man. He, you're gonna hear us preface it the same way all season. I think Domingo is gonna be a part of this Yankees run. If you hate that and hate Domingo, you're not wrong. Like, that it sucks. It sucks what he did, but how much do you believe in second chances and all that? He, the last time Domingo was out there full year, he won 18 games for us. So I think the Yankees are going to give him the pill. I'm interested to see how they juggle it. I know
He's so skinny.
He's a skinny guy. He's lanky. There's a lot of different angles
Limbs
on it.
coming at you all different ways.
It's funky. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see the rest of the handling Domingo Herman. Do they start him in the minors to start the year, or are they just going to give him the pill? I don't know, because it's kind of like he's already in either way. Like the fact that you've welcomed him back to the Yankees, like
Oh yeah,
he's on the team. So I don't know if
he served his time.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna mess with a AAA stint or if they do, and whether
Not if he looks like that.
Whether if that's Mingo stuff or service time stuff. So
if he stays out of trouble, he's not doing anything wrong, and he continues to look that crisp. He's going to be in a rotation.
Use him.
Davey, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 home runs. Had some pitches where he looked really nice, and then got rocked a couple times as well. One first outing, so
yeah.
It still surprised me that Davey's fastball's not fast. I got like jarred by that. I was like, oh yeah, he's like a sneaky fastball. It hides the ball. It's like only 92.
He hides it, and I think he does a little. I think he's got to dial it up in there. I think we've seen him hit 94s, 95s, but he saves that. Like, if you remember his starts last year, the guy idolizes Pedro, and he talked about it. And the first couple times through the lineup, was he only throwing fastball?
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, Davey.
Yeah. Gotta mix it up.
I love you, bud, but let's get a little off speed going. So, yeah, I would love to know where Davey's head is at this spring training. Does he think he's like?
He thinks he's in the rotation.
But so you say that, and then he gives up, the home runs. Like, is Davey coming off head down, or is Davey saying like, oh, I was just working on my fastball to like, I
think he's a little head down, but like I think he's out to win the rotation spot, and he's like, all right, well, I'll work on that next time.
Because in contrast to Domingo, and we're talking about spring training stuff that doesn't matter, Domingo coming out 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, looking gross.
Mm-hmm.
That's significant.
Trying to find, I think it was the Toronto game when we were watching it, and we were like, dude, you didn't throw another pitch in the first inning.
Gotta pump something else, Davey.
Let's keep going with pitching. Loaizaga, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 Ks, good results, some fly balls in there. His changeup looked nice.
I'm interested to see his next appearance. Is it going to be 2 innings again? Are they going to try to stretch him out even more? Because we still don't know the Yankees' pitching plan for this season. I think you need something like 800 innings. I forget the math. I read Saris's article. So, this might actually be a fun / scary game for us to do if you start writing in how many innings we think guys are going to pitch this year and see.
Make a pie chart.
What gets us to that number. But yeah, Johnny L's, I've said before, like at this point, if he could be 2 inning Johnny Lasagna, and see where you land. If he proves he's elite enough to earn 1 inning, then let's do that dance. But
Chacin pitched. He didn't fare too well. One inning pitch, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. So everyone's getting like 2 innings unless you're bad. Chacin pitched so many pitches that they only gave him 1 inning. I wonder how much can change. I still think they want to use him at the start of the season. Use him and burn him. Like you said, you need to get that calculation. I don't think they have him being a playoff starter, but they want him to eat innings at the beginning of the season to rest everyone else. I actually agree with that kind of strategy a little bit.
yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, obviously 1 start, but we'll see. He needs to look decent enough to do that.
Yeah, and you just wonder when you talk about the burn, I think that's where you and I are viewing it a little differently. Like I'd rather if I'm not sure of his contract, but if he could start the year in AAA, and then when the Yankees are going to need 3-4 starts, give him the call, and then you're ready to burn him, rather than if everyone's here and then you just want to bring somebody else up.
Well, I think they get
burning
Davey some
him the
time
other
in
day.
AAA or something like that.
He's an interesting one to watch.
And King had another outing and did really well. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 K, looked good. Coming off the outing where he got roughed up a little bit the very first outing of spring.
He's just trying to throw it too hard. You know that.
Yeah, that's all the pitching. I mean, they still haven't rolled out Britton, Chapman, Wilson, O'Day. None of the relievers. They're all doing sim stuff, like they're throwing. Oh, Adam Warren had another inning. He had a clean inning. If he continues to have clean innings, I'm going to be like, okay, well, who's getting bumped off for him?
On the Warren train, yeah. So, I mean, right now, well, we can do this. Yankees bullpen, Chappie, Britton, Chad, O'Day, Wilson, Loizaga, Sessa. Right now, Fangraphs has it as 1 spot open.
Nelson is who I'd throw there
It's
now.
Nelson.
Or Warren.
It's Warren. The guy who's been making a lot of noise in camp, and I saw someone said it was Letke. Lucas Letke. Am I saying that right, BBD? The Hap hybrid?
I've been saying Litke.
Litke?
It's Lue, but it somehow is like an I sound, I think.
It doesn't look like either of those pronunciations. It looks like Lutke.
Lutke.
Yeah, the baseball reference pronunciation is Litke.
Litke. He's been having a lights-out spring. A guy who's played some Major League Baseball. He's been striking out everyone to the fact they asked Boone about it, and there's like, yeah, he's one of the guys that's turned heads. So you don't know if it means anything. It very well could not for someone like him, especially.
3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts.
Yeah. So I don't know. Those veterans are still there. Bearclaw, Adam Warren, Tyler Lyons. We know the Yankees love Tyler Lyons. Have we seen Nick Goody yet?
Yeah.
He's been in.
Okay.
He got hit. He gave up a home run immediately. In that one game when Voit was mic'd up, he came in and gave up a home run.
Come on,
Boone
Goody.
was mic'd up. I forget who.
So, yeah, I think there's still...
I think there's 0 chance for, Litke. They're just so crowded, and there's so many guys that they've invested into and stock into that I don't see it happening for a 33-year-old journeyman who's had a good spring. But it's exciting. But I saw people. I didn't even pay attention to him when he was pitching. So
hey, if he continues striking out every batter he faces, I think that changes the conversation. There's 1 spot out there, and
hasn't pitched in the big since 2015.
Nick Nelson, are you doing some service time stuff with him? If you can save him, Adam Warren, we know him and the Yankees are best friends. So there's a potential juggle for that last spot. And hey, again, knock on wood, we'll see if the injury bug or anything like that comes into play. But hey, good for him. Have a camp, kid. Punch everyone out.
Yeah. What do we got? News?
His middle name is Lester, Lucas Lester Lickey, triple L's.
That was important.
Yeah,
That
11
is-
batters faced, 8 strikeouts.
That's an unfortunate name.
And he looks like a Hap Paxton hybrid.
Yeah, the way he throws on the mound.
Like his mannerisms are Paxton, his look is Hap, and he's lefty. And
weird.
every name starts with L.
And the other piece of breaking news with Lickey,
does
Emmanuel
look like a
Sanders
pest.
tweeted just a little bit ago that he's known him since 8th grade.
Who has?
5th grade, Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders and Lucas Litke.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted at him,
Broncos wide receiver.
Emmanuel Sanders, you know the boy Lucas Lickey. Then Emmanuel Sanders tweeted a picture of them, said, yep, since the 5th grade. So I'm playing basketball
So
together.
that's huge.
So
Wow.
I sent that to
Wow.
Kyle.
What are they, from the same town? If
Tripping.
not, it's even weirder.
Just found each other on Facebook early.
Belleville High School, Texas and Rice University. Yeah, I mean, good for him. What's the saying they say? Like you're auditioning for not just your team, but every team.
Every team.
So he'll find somewhere. I think that's the only updates. Kluber had a very, very, very good outing. When's he pitching again? Is it going to be on TV or are they hiding him again? But what was it? 2 innings pitched, no hits,
Klubat.
4 Ks or something like that.
Let's see. It was Tyone Chacin against Pittsburgh. It was Kluber against the Tigers. No, that was Domingo King Day. Yeah, I don't. Kind of starting to ease my way on to the Kluber bus, man.
6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts, 21 pitches, 9 in the first inning, 13 in the second.
Is he pitching tomorrow?
His first game was March 3rd, which is 5 days ago.
So he's pitching
So,
tomorrow?
Presumably,
I'd
maybe
assume
it'll be a
tomorrow.
sim game instead or something, but I haven't seen an official announcement for who pitches tomorrow.
Lick me.
He faced Austin Wells this morning.
Mm.
Corey Kluber threw to Austin Wells this morning. So maybe this is his next day.
Okay.
They're doing sim. Hiding him.
Haven't seen you.
Hiding him.
Like to.
What's up with that? Show me Kluber. I want to see him.
Off day today.
We got some voicemails, some topics we're going to talk about. First, DraftKings is doing one of those dumb, crazy, free money promotions. And this involves college basketball. You got to find a underdog. So we were going through the Yankees roster.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu went to LSU.
Get it, you.
They're third in the Southeastern Conference, so maybe they're bubble underdog. No idea.
Bubbling.
Who's from Carolina? Monty's from South Carolina?
Monty
And
and Clark
as
Schmidt.
well, yeah.
Okay.
South Carolina.
So if you choose an underdog,
Chad Green, Louisville.
ooh, bet $4 on an underdog and you win $256 if they win. It's that simple.
Easy
BBD, what are
math.
the odds on that?
Easy math.
Didn't listen to anything you said.
Okay.
So $4 on the
$4
underdog
to win $256 on the underdog.
So that's 4 times.
I'm bad at gambling math, which is why
4
DraftKings
times
is
4,
good because they show you the math for you.
They do
Yeah.
the math.
Promo code
DraftKings
JOMBOY.
does the math for you.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a big payout. That's all you need to know. Huge. I would guess you go find the underdog that's barely an underdog, or just goes put money on the
Bet every underdog. Does it
$4
work like that.
$4 on every underdog.
Every underdog.
If the most you're down, like $4 on 10 underdogs.
Yeah.
You lose, you're down $40. One of them hits,
You're up.
you're up a lot of money. So go do that. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up to turn $4 into $256. If the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset, that's code JOMBOY to turn $4 into $256 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Litke.
Let's go to the voicemails.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy from DC. Long time, first time. I told BBD I'd call in. I'm down here in Tampa, went to the Kluber game, and let me tell you, the boos on Stanton for not swinging were absolutely ridiculous and hilarious. My question kind of going off of that is, when should we start caring, if at all, about the performance on the field, whether it be pitching or hitting? Thanks, guys. Looking forward to a great season.
We kind of tackled this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys, majority of guys, April 1st is when you start caring. Not even that. Maybe like April 10th. For hitters, you got to give them a couple weeks.
It's kind of the extremes, right? Like if Lucas Litke pitches 9 innings of baseball and he strikes out 24 batters, and somehow made the Yankees, and then he gets rocked. Doesn't matter at all. It's all the extremes. If Hicksy didn't have a hit this spring, and then, a week into the season, he's only got one. Like, it's all piggybacking. Nothing really matters in this life.
We talked about it a little.
Friends, your religion for some of you.
Wow, coming at everyone. No, I think we talked about it. Gary Sanchez, it's nice that he's having a hot start. If he went a 110 batting average with no extra base hits in spring, it would matter. As much as we say it doesn't, we would all in our head be ready for disappointment regular season. Like, you just needed that. If Glaber was booting balls at short, all the question marks from last season, you want them not to be questioned, not to show up in spring. Now, there's still going to be question marks once the season starts, but if they were showing themselves in spring, it would be scary.
If Glaber was kicking balls in the infield, we would be having a deep dive conversation about that.
Yeah, and knocking on all the wood, we're 2 weeks in and haven't had an injury yet.
Yeah,
that matters. Clark, but not on the active 26 man. And I think Clark's like starting to pitch already, so
yeah,
I don't think it's going to affect his season that much. Seems pretty good. So that kind of matters. But as far as like Stanton, Judge, Voit, all those guys, stay healthy and don't look like Judge still looks fine at the plate.
Yeah.
So does Voit. So I don't know if those guys will ever matter. Andujar's fielding always matters.
Yeah.
Gardner hitting that grand slam was very fun.
Technically doesn't matter. If Gardy starts out this April and he's hitting 077, nobody's going to point to that Gardy grand slam this spring.
Yeah. That was fun. Did not matter.
It's cute.
Oh,
talk trash to the big guys.
2-strike grand slam, always cute.
I used to do.
Hey, man, I just wanted to see what you guys think you can do to beat the Astros finally, because obviously you guys haven't been able to beat us. Maybe you guys need a little bit of moral support from us Astros fans to maybe get over the hump this year. But then again, I highly doubt that, man. Bunch of crybabies over there. So go Stros.
Wow, Astros fan calling in.
Stros up, baby.
Pitch better, hit better, be better. That's my recipe for beating the Astros.
Hit better, be better, pitch better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, as long as we don't run into Verlander. Not pitching this year.
Framber's pretty nasty.
Framber's hurt.
Forrest Whitley should be good.
Also hurt.
Oh. Kind of sounds like the Yankees of old.
Signed Odorizzi. We like him.
I like Odo.
Houston's going to be there. I don't know. Me and BBD talked about this on Wake and Jake a little bit this morning. Like, if you had to go playoff series straight up with the other AL teams right now, Houston's just as scary. Like, it's the White Sox and the Rays. The Rays lost Snell and Morton. In a playoff series, you're going to be more scared of the Twins than Houston?
No, I thought you were just naming all the teams that are of options.
I'm just comparing Houston to those other teams. I mean,
Rays would probably still be my one because they have
that you
Boone.
Don't want to play.
Yeah, they have Boone and Cash's number. They know how to play checkers and chess against Boone and Cashman.
Yeah,
they have them beat as of right now. Like, they mentally weakened the Yankees.
Yeah,
last year, and the Yankees beat themselves on the chessboard, not the playing field. So I'm still worried about that. I still think they have to, if they get there.
But the Rays, playoff-wise, definitely took a step back.
Yeah.
Like, regular season, I still have them as the same Rays, but Snell Morton.
We'll see what the Astros pitching is at the end. Yeah. But, I mean, Greinke's obviously a stud.
Greinke,
and
Odo.
Then Kitty, Odo, and Javier were all really good. So
and
the White Sox will
the
be
White
there.
Sox,
if Giolito and Lance Lynn are the 1-2, and they're going really good.
Keuchel.
They might be there too as well.
That's what the White Sox have a little
more.
more.
Just sucks right now.
The White Sox have a little more talent than Houston, but these Houston guys have been through 4 straight ALCSs.
Yeah, they're battle tested.
Bregman's played 60. So, like, if there's a playoff series tomorrow, Houston and the White Sox, I would take Houston just like banking on their.
Take Houston as the scariest.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to play them. You'd
Correct.
take the White Sox. Yeah.
So that's where, there hasn't been a lot of buzz around Houston. It's been a lot of White Sox are the hot new team. Yanks, like, Houston's going to be around, and I decided I want Houston and the White Sox to play so the White Sox can either figure it out, and it's Dusty versus La Russa, so it's just an old man fest.
I like that.
And so we'll play. The Rays actually lose to the Twins, so we'll have to play the Twins. Oops.
The Twins are going to win?
No, but got a dream.
A's are there? There's another team that would need to be around.
A's, Blue Jays, Rays, like that's it. Twins.
Mm.
Cleveland.
Blue Jays surprise everyone. Take the 2 seed in the AL East. Beat the Twins in the wild card game where you can't even go till Game 3, and
Perfect.
we're set.
Robbie Ray, Tanner Roark, games 1 and 2.
In stone.
In stone.
Hey, what's up, guys? Pete in Virginia calling with my spring hot take here. I think the Yankees are going to have 5 guys, potentially more, with 30-plus bombs. So I've got Judge, Stanton, Gary, Voit, and Glaber. But honestly, we got a few guys that are peripheral there. You know, we got Hicks, Clint, Gio, and even DJ could do it. Let me know what you think. Thanks, fellas. Congrats on the recent success.
Thank you, Pete in Virginia.
Thanks,
That's a fun question. How many guys are going to hit more than 30 home runs? I mean, in 2019, you only had 2. In 2018, you only had 1. In 2017, you had 2. So, can 5 guys do it? Yeah.
Sure can.
Which 3 will?
Yeah.
I'll say 3 because I'm feeling optimistic.
One of those years there was a bunch of guys at 27. Forget which one it was.
27 ain't 30.
18.
It isn't 30.
It was
Math pot.
Guys knocking
20
at the door.
It was 2018. It was Didi, Andujar, Hicks, and Judge all had 27 home runs, and Stanton was the only one that had more than 30 with 38.
It's a.
How many guys can do it? Ready?
It's a 6 sport.
Gary, he's done it before.
Yeah.
Judge, done it before. Stanton, done it before. Glaber, done it before, right?
Yeah, 38. Voit hasn't done it,
But what did he do last year? 20 in
He's-
60 games?
yeah.
I'm going to count that as done it.
22 in 60 games.
I'm going to count that as
Yeah.
done it before. So we got 5 guys that have done it before. Now, of the guys that haven't done it, do you think Clint could do it with a full season?
I do. I wouldn't bet on it for this season, but he very well can.
Very well.
I've been saying that for the past couple years, that if he got traded to Cincy, I would pencil him for 30 homers.
Yeah. How many does he have in his 162? 24. He's played 162 games in his career. He's got 24. He could do it. I'm not.
He has the potential. You can't bet on it for this year.
No.
That would be a sucker bet.
Has Bruce ever hit 30?
I think he has, but I don't.
I know he's hit.
I wouldn't pen him.
They're
in for this
throwing
season.
the
One time.
10 years of 20, I think like 22 homers or more.
No. Bruce has hit 35 different times, but I'm just seeing.
We can rule out Gio. We love Gio, but
30 doesn't feel in
30's
the
a big
cards.
number. Like we're saying, the whole reason we're in this conversation.
Gio hit 21 in 2019 in 132 games.
Seems right.
Yeah.
DJ doesn't try.
No, DJ, there's no use even.
Yeah.
Hit your 20 and have fun, DJ.
Hicks
I mean, he hit
is kind of
26. DJ hit 26 in 2019.
Hicks is kind of the wild card.
Hit 27.
He's got power to do it.
I will say 3 will do it this year, but I don't know what 3 because there's a lot of options, like we just said. I mean,
So much
there's
health.
we named 6 guys. We named 5 guys that have done it before. Then we named guys that have hit over 25. DJ, Hicks, Urshela was what, 22? I said
21.
21. Put Urshela and Clint.
28 and 19. But
Gardner at
balls.
28. Yeah.
How about the Fangraphs projections? And these are, basically if the guys play the full season. Has Judge at 36, Stanton at 41, Voit at 34, Glaber at 34.
They're going with 4. I'm always cautiously cautious.
Yeah.
I'm going with 3 guys.
Baseball happens.
Baseball happens in a big way. I'll go 4. A lot of big guys.
Do it.
Why not?
Let's go 5. BBD, go 5.
Okay.
Judge,
Wow.
Stanton, Voit,
Gary.
Glaber, Gary, toss up.
You need somebody to root for 5 guys to hit 30 home runs. I'm your guy.
Clint Dark Horse.
If Judge, Stanton, and Voit all play a full season, they should all hit 30 home runs.
You'd think so. You'd think so.
Even Gary gets a full year. Even
Yeah,
if he's
I mean,
bad, he homers.
dude, Gary
he
plays
homers at the right
100
rate.
games.
You do some,
Well, Gary's had 2 years where he played a lot of games and was awful. So
but he
still
still
hits
homered
homers.
at. He's like homered at the same rate even in those years. He just gets no other hits,
yeah,
which is tough.
now he's going to right field again.
Yeah, he's odd year Gary. So
Voigt's going to be an interesting one.
All right, we have 2 more calls. They're about the same thing. Let's going to do some batting order.
What's up, boys? Jordan from Boston. All right, I want to know more about Aaron Hicks and where he goes in our lineup. I'm kind of in the same mindset as Jade, where it's what does the other team not want you to do? And if I'm the other team, I want Aaron Hicks batting third or batting first. And I know he's a good walk guy, you know, all this kind of fun stuff, but I want him at the bottom of the lineup. You know, I love DJ in that leadoff spot. Start the game off right. Get your best hitter the most at bats. I like Judge as a 2-hole. If Gleyber's going well, I want him in a 3-hole, and then so on and so forth. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but give me Aaron Hicks near the bottom of the lineup. I don't know. What do you guys think? Go Yanks.
So,
Oh, another one.
JOMBOY, Jake, BBD in the corner. What's up, guys? It's Dustin from Indiana. First off, BBD, you talk as much as you want, dude. Second off, why isn't Hicks leading off instead of being in the 3-hole? I was talking to Yankees Twitter about it the other day, and it really got me thinking. Can you imagine Hicks leading off, who we all know gets on base at an absurd rate, and DJ, the hitting machine, in the 3-hole instead? Think about it. Hicks works an 8-pitch walk to start the game. Now you have to face the gauntlet of Judge, DJ, Voit, and Stanton. Imagine the mind games that would cause, and not to mention that it sounds way better. Anyway, wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. Thanks, guys. Go Yanks.
All right, so let's do some batting order stuff in Hicks. Now, we'll preface this by saying Boone said Hicks was going to be a 3-hole hitter.
yeah.
So, no need to really argue or debate what you think it's going to be. Boone said he's going to be a 3-hole hitter. How long that lasts for, who knows? I agree with both of them.
Yeah.
I agree with Jordan, where do what the other team doesn't want you to do, and if the other team sees Hicks in the first 3 batters instead of Judge, Gleyber, DJ, or Judge, Gleyber, Stanton, they want that. I very much agree that the other team, the other pitcher, when he sees Hicks in those first 3, instead of, I mean, even add Voit, like instead of seeing DJ, Judge, Stanton, DJ, Judge, Voit, DJ, Judge, Gleyber, I think the other team sees Hicks and they say, oh, okay, cool. Because they don't, obviously Hicks is a tough at bat and works walks, but he's just not that presence. So I agree, I fully agree there. Then I agree with our next caller, I forget his name, who says, if you're going to put him in the top 3, I think I'd rather him go first and have DJ be the 3-hole. I think I would. I don't like him 3-hole hitter at all.
Yeah. Yeah, man, there's a couple juggles in play here. I'm looking at Hicks' stat as a Yankee. Which also gets skewed because his 2016, I mean, he wasn't the guy we know today. So since
It's like platooning and stuff too.
Since 2017, and that includes 2019, which was a weird year for him because he was coming off the Tommy John and stuff. Since 2017, Aaron Hicks has got on base at a 362 clip, 819 OPS, a 120 OPS plus. That's a really good ball player. Especially as a switch hitting center fielder. Like, those don't exist. And that's part of the reason the Yankees love Hicks. And it's part of the reason we've come around more on Hicks. At first, we kind of didn't get it. Like, seeing a lot of pitches. And I think he's even take steps. Like, his takes used to be a lot more often. And now he looks for those pitches to drive. And he does, man. He does. That being said, it's what you said. It's the company you keep, man. And ask the opponents, like Jordan mentioned. Would you rather see DJ? Like, sorry, guy's been top 5 MVP the past 2 years. Judge, pretty much as good as anyone in baseball when he's healthy. Stan, MVP in the bag, went nuts last playoffs. Voit, when he's right. We saw him lead the league in home runs last year. So it's tough, and this is where I get caught up because, the Yankees tell us they don't really care about lineup balance, and they've got these switch-proof guys, and, the righties, it's easier for them to go the other way. And then you throw Aaron Hicks in the middle of this lineup to balance it out, and they're basically admitting that they believe in that to a degree. So don't get me wrong, I love everyone on this team, but I say it when I look back at those great Yankees teams, they just had better balance. I mean, it's easy when you have Bernie and Posada switching and you put them wherever you want, but it's definitely it's a little off, and it's not a shot at Hicks. It's more so a compliment to everybody else around him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think I like DJ leading off. My preference would be to keep DJ leading off. Every now and then he pops that leadoff homer or just goes like battles you out and then beats you with the hit, which I think is more emphatic than battling you out and beating you with a walk.
And a little, man, if it ain't broke,
yeah. So
it's been working.
But if they wanted Hicks in the top 3, and they don't even want him leading off, they only have him because he's a lefty and can switch up the righties. Because otherwise, I think it would make sense to have him lead off and DJ be third if you have to have him up there. But I don't even know about that.
I think that's the biggest takeaway that gets
Hicks shouldn't be getting more at bats than DJ and Judge.
What frustrates me about the righty lefty thing, if Giancarlo, if Glaber, if Voit, and I know I'm starting to get into a weird space, but if any of those guys were lefty, I think we'd be saying they're in the 3-hole.
Oh, it wouldn't even be a
and
question.
That's the part that's a little frustrating as Yankee fans. But hey,
his chase rate went down like crazy last season. I mean, average in MLB chasing pitches out of the zone is a 28% chase rate. Last year, Hicks was 15.
Yeah.
Like crazy low.
Spits on it. He got on base at again, small sample last year, but a 379 clip. And he still didn't look fully right. So, hey, man, Aaron Hicks.
But then his look at this. Then his meatball swing was like 82. So like pitches in the zone, he was above average at swinging at pitches in the zone.
He's gotten good. I will stand by it that and I know we can dig up some of these metrics. Like 2017 when we were learning who Hicks was, I think he let a lot of meteor pitches get by. To the point where I really like where he's at. So looking at the playoff numbers are a little low, but hey, he says he's going to hit 30 this year. Do it.
He was 9th in pitches seen per plate appearance in 2018. 2019, I don't think he had enough play.
ABs, yeah.
In 2020, in the shortened season, pitches per plate appearance, he was 9th again. So, he would make a good leadoff hitter from that aspect. But I do, fifth time we're saying it, what does the opponent want to see? I think opposing pitchers don't feel the same when they see DJ Judge Hicks as they would DJ Judge Voit or DJ Judge Glaber or DJ Judge Stanton. I just don't think it's the same mentality, and that's a little bit of the chess game that you want to get in other people's heads right away. So,
yeah, and that's the leadoff thing. It gets away from what we talked about with the lineup. If you bat Hicks leadoff, then the rest of your lineup might be just straight righties.
And it's only for the first inning.
Yeah,
and you want to just get the best hitters the most at bats, and that's why I don't want. Should Hicks be getting more at bats than Glaber, Voit, or Stanton? Probably not.
No.
If he wasn't from the left side of the plate, I don't think it'd even be a question. So that's where it's like, well, is his skill set going there, or is his handedness going there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a world where a 6-hole Hicks wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. Those are our last voicemails. That's a conversation we're having forever and always going to have.
Yeah.
I do think the Yankees basically tipped their hand to what their lineup is going to be with the last spring. DJ leading off, Judge batting second, Hicks batting third, Stanton in cleanup, Voit batting fifth, Glaber batting sixth, Gary batting seventh, Gio batting eighth, Clinton batting ninth. Now maybe at the tail end they switch it, but the 1 through 6, I think you're there. DJ, Judge, Hicks, Stanton, Voit, Glaber.
That's a crazy lineup.
It's really good.
I know we get detached from it doing our talking baseball stuff and a lot of eyes on the pitching this offseason, but man, that lineup's nuts, dude.
Very good.
When your 4 through 6 is Stanton, Voit, Glaber.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Play something spooky.
Ooh, I will. That's the end of this episode. We appreciate you hanging out with us very much. We got an episode coming up tomorrow. Who's coming up tomorrow? Don't tell them. It's a secret. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.